What's up, beautiful people? Today we're going to be checking out a video by awakenwithjp. This one is titled "Everything is Fine, Don't Ask Questions." Let's get to it. That's how he's starting.
Man down. I think that one was caused by the climate crisis.
Probably.
Good evening and welcome to We Lied to You News. Nobody brings you lies you can trust quite like we do. Today's top stories. There is proof that Biden's involved in a criminal bribery scheme? Well, that couldn't be. Safe and effective, resulting in paralysis and blindness? There's a new film that we definitely don't want you to watch. And an interview with Alex Jones? Yep, all that and more. But first, the only thing falling faster than Biden's approval ratings is Biden himself. After reading off a teleprompter as a way of delivering a commencement address at the Air Force Academy, Joe took a bit of a characteristic tumble. And if you look closely, at this point, he attempted to get up and fell back down.
Is he okay though? Is Biden okay? That's the question.
Unable to get up under his own power, most likely due to Russian collusion. As I sit here with my hands folded together
I just got that.
to make you think I'm more wholesome than I actually am, I'll tell you, our team of investigative propagandists have received the Secret Service earpiece audio recording of the time of the fall. Take a look.
Alright, Joe, let's see if you can even get to the damn mark this time. Remember, like we practice, walk around, go up and say hi to the general, and then get behind the podium. Yep, upstairs, careful, careful. You know how you are with stairs. Yep, okay, that podium, yes. Walk forward, say hi to the general, and stop. And stop. Where are you going? Not that general. Oh my God. Joe, go back to the podium.
This is definitely a false audio.
Joe.
Definitely.
Oh my God, this is so awkward. These poor cadets. Joe, to the podium. Could you, yeah, thank you. Direct him to the podium, please. Come on. There you go, old man. Get up there. No, the podium, you idiot. Where are you going? Oh, God. You know, I hope something happens to you later.
A few moments later.
All right, go ahead and walk off the stage now, Joe. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
But why are they doing this? Why are they using this man to do all of these things? Why? If it's not sound or if he's ill, he should go get some treatment before coming out and doing all this press and interview. This is hectic for anybody. And also he's not young, so I'm sure it's very hectic for him too. So why are they doing this to him?
What happened? Did someone push you? Invisible stairs? Where? There's nothing there, Joe!
And now an Illuminati symbol. In response to how the fall made Biden look as bad as he is, the New York Times published an article earnestly attempting to hide the reality of it by saying Biden is sharp, fit, and has striking stamina. Who in their right mind could argue with that? The fact that the New York Times did say that is fact-checked as true. In spite of his striking stamina, sharpness, and fitness, the White House says the fall was caused by a sandbag on the ground. As it turns out, sandbags are a common occurrence on stages and are typically seen by cognitively aware people with their vision, which then informs their brain of the sandbag's existence and placement. The brain then informs the motor system of the body to not walk into the sandbag. However, we've obtained video footage of the forensics analysis of the fall, which shows the sandbag was actually not the cause of Joe's latest fall. Take a look.
Where's the sandbag?
We expect federal charges to be brought against Trump any day now. In other news, the parent company of Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, has now seen its value drop by $27 billion. We're still unsure as to
It
what's
looks like he's speaking again from the graph.
causing the company's value to drop so dramatically. However, we're beginning to suspect that what's causing it are the arrest them all and lock them up. Are we still supposed to say that kind of thing? Speaking of which, there are reports going around that beloved actor and comedian Jamie Foxx has been left partially paralyzed and blind. How? Well,
he was recently seen on a yacht. I think he's doing fine now.
Blood clots have become widely popular the past 2 years, and it appears as though Fox had one of those in his brain. And completely unrelated, rumors are that Fox had been filming a movie with Cameron Diaz, and there were certain mandates that the actor did not want to comply with. However, in the end, there's speculation that he did. And we can only say the mandates worked, because Fox at least didn't get... Thank God he complied. In related news, a man who has spread around dangerous misinformation based on facts about such mandates and related bioweaponry is now presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. After being banned by all social media platforms for sharing baseless misinformation that's provably true, Instagram and Facebook have re-entered the election interference game by preventing his presidential campaign from establishing social media accounts. And we say good, because if people, let alone presidential candidates like RFK, are allowed to talk, then people like Jamie Foxx might be persuaded into being less compliant. And that could result in great harm being done. But Kennedy has had his Twitter account reinstated since Elon took over, and Elon even hosted a Twitter Spaces for the presidential candidate recently. In contrast, the mainstream media, brought to you by Pfizer, is giving the viable presidential candidate zero coverage. However, word about Kennedy...
I didn't even know he was a presidential candidate until today.
...is getting out, as he's recently appeared on some of the world's most popular podcasts, including Russell Brand, Jordan Peterson, All In, London Real, Crystal and Sagar, and the Aubrey Marcus podcast. And just so you know, we forbid you from listening to any of those, or else our plan of silencing Kennedy, simply because we care, will not work. And in some good news, over the weekend, the type of government that we will have if you allow it, the Chinese Communist Party, arrested Hong Kong citizens for commemorating the Tiananmen Square massacre on its 34th anniversary. A little history lesson on that. The Tiananmen Square massacre occurred on June 4th, 1989. A crowd of over 1 million people gathered in the square protesting communism and demanding freedom. The Communist Party then brought in 250,000 soldiers who proceeded to open fire on the disarmed population, killing over 10,000 innocent citizens. The Communist government has since forbidden its citizens from even speaking of the event, where they face 3.5 years in prison if they do. Even to this day. Through its always on the right side of history censorship, the Chinese Communist Party forbids its citizens from talking about it because they consider it to be dangerous misinformation. Sounds familiar. Such dangerous misinformation that they arrest people for even acknowledging it, which helps protect the public from knowing about it. History repeats itself unless it's learned from. The communists are doing their best to keep people from learning history so they can't learn from it, so the communists can do it again. And on a note of empowerment...
This thing, does it confuse you guys as well? Like, the way he's just putting the words, I understand what he's talking about, but the words are confusing me while he's talking about it.
...empowering us to learn from history so it doesn't have to be repeated. Over the weekend, a film premiered in Austin, Texas that powerfully shines the light on the totalitarian communistic movement that's been happening here in America. Plandemic 3, The Great Awakening. If enough people see it, this is the film that could unfortunately undo all the hard work we've been doing for your benefit with our altruistic efforts in censorship, federal corruption, election shenanigans, mandates, 24/7 propaganda, and weaponized federal agencies. You can watch The Great Awakening for free, but please don't, at plandemicseries.com. At the premiere of The Great Awakening, there were red carpet interviews that we didn't like. Take a look at these 4 lunatic conspiracy theorists exercising the dangerous witchcraft of free speech. And we're back with the one and only Alex Jones, Mrs. Alex Jones, and the one and only Mickey Willis. Alex, I'd imagine you've got some people out there who know who you are.
We're at the premiere of The Great Awakening. Why are you here?
This film could be the most important film ever made. I've seen large excerpts, not the final cut. It documents this assault on humanity, this tyrannical takeover, this seduction of our minds, this attempt at a total takeover of society. So we must defeat this, not just for the dead and the abused from what we've seen in the last few years, but because they're planning new pandemics, new lockdowns, more controls. This is the most important subject, and Mickey Willis is the best filmmaker on the topic. I can't wait to see the final cut. It's up to the viewers and listeners to make it number one, to go out to not hundreds of millions like Plandemic, but billions, and we'll break the back of Bill Gates and Fauci once and for all. Your future's in your hands. The sit in the God joke. Get this film out of your dead.
Now, Alex, I think I speak for everybody. A little career advice. If you could bring a little bit of passion to your work, I think the message would go down.
Serious. They killed us with ventilators. They killed us with lockdowns. They killed us denying therapeutics. They're starting World War III with Russia. They're saying, the UN says, we ended the last pandemic to be heroes when the next pandemic comes. They're preparing to launch the next attack.
I had 2025.
So, I mean, it's real. So, I mean, damn right I got passion. I didn't like being locked down for a year and a half. I didn't like the third world lockdown for over 2 years, mass starvation and death. But you were fighting, Mickey was fighting, my wife was fighting, and we're fighting together. This film is so damn important, folks. I can feel the zeitgeist. Thousands of people here tonight. Victory's in our hands. If we got the ball. Now we got to carry the ball down the field.
I used to watch Alex Jones. Now I study Alex Jones. Thank you, Alex, for being here.
Brother, love you. So, my wife's her biggest fan, by the way.
Oh, amazing.
She wants to marry you.
You know what?
He wants to marry you? How do you end it like that?
Those guys, do we? In other news, the FBI has confirmed that they have a document alleging that Joe Biden took part in a $5 million bribery scheme and that the document came from a highly credible source. In case you're unfamiliar with the alleged criminal in the bribery scheme, here he is. That's basically how they do it in Ocean's 11. The man literally stands for nothing. So many speculate that he would fall for taking part in criminal activity that puts our nation at risk.
Was a mess.
But oddly enough, the FBI is refusing to hand over the very unclassified document to a congressional investigative committee. Very unusual that the FBI wouldn't be fully pursuing someone on the left. What's next for this informant that the criminal bribery scheme information came from? Well, even though we don't know who he, she, they, them, zer, or itself is, we suspect they've got a medical history that might lead to them dying suddenly. Perhaps he'll come down with a sudden case of hanging from a tree with a gunshot blast to the chest. That kind of thing is going around. And in our final story, the widely acclaimed documentary, What is a Woman, celebrated its 1-year anniversary of being published. And to celebrate its 1-year anniversary, the film that seeks to answer the question that we still refuse to figure out was set to be posted on Twitter by the Daily Wire for people to watch for free. But then drama ensued as Twitter decided to throttle the film due to instances in it where people are hatefully referred to by their actual gender. This culminated in Elon firing people, the film being posted to Twitter, and Elon tweeting about it. Every parent should watch this. In the past week on Twitter alone, What is a Woman has been viewed more than 180 million times.
Oh, wow.
The film's creator Matt Walsh also pointed out that after a year of its release, the film is also the #1 streaming movie on Rotten Tomatoes. These numbers show that believing in what's called reality is a rather powerful movement at the moment. But will that trend continue?
We'll see.
Certainly not if we have anything to say about it. So keep watching. That's it for tonight's news. Biden face plants. The FBI doesn't think there's anything wrong with Joe's criminal bribery. Communism kills people.
That's
the Great Awakening might just kill communism. Kennedy's popularity is rising. And out of respect for women, it's still politically correct to not acknowledge what they are. And here's a pregnant man. Let that sink in. It's a man. And don't even question it, bigot.
Okay, so that was a brief summary of the news. Awaken with JP, everything is fine. Don't ask questions. I mean, when I say the news, I'm not saying the media, the one you watch, or A lot of people don't even watch that media anymore. But this is the news you probably wouldn't see on your TV. He gave us the updates and everything, and I think that was pretty interesting. You know, he said a very good amount of good stuff. And he said there's a woman who's no, hey, pardon me. He said there's a man who's pregnant and don't ask questions. Let me know your thoughts on that one. Talk to me in the comment section. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you on the next video. As always, I'll put the link to Awaken with JP's channel. If you're not already familiar with him, check him out. I'll put the link to his channel. I'll put the link to his channel in the description. Have a wonderful day. Peace.